Verstappen, he's hit Vettel as well. Raikkonen is out before the first corner and he's gone into the red.
Locked up, launched himself off Thierry Boutsen's rear tyre.
Look how he's been passed, and there's another coming together. A car dragging along the Arco, 2, 3 of them out. A flood in the wall will stop the race.
They'll have to red, they'll have to red flag this.
Terrible. Oh, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
What if I tell you that one ordinary lap in Formula 1 suddenly turned into a scene straight out of a nightmare? A Formula 1 driver crashed at almost 200 kilometers per hour, split his car in half, got swallowed by a fireball, and still walked out alive? Don't blink. What you're about to see is the kind of survival story people still can't explain. 28 seconds. That's how long Romain Grosjean was trapped inside a burning race car, engulfed in flames with nowhere to go. Most people wouldn't last half that time, but what happened next shocked the entire world. November 29th, 2020, the Bahrain Grand Prix, Lap 1. Everything seemed normal, but in just a few seconds, Formula 1 witnessed one of the most terrifying crashes in its history. A crash so violent, so explosive, that everyone watching thought they'd just seen a man die on live television, but they hadn't. And the reason why will leave you speechless. It all happened in the blink of an eye. Romain Grosjean was driving his Haas F20 when his car made contact with Daniil Kvyat's vehicle. That single touch was enough. Grosjean's car suddenly veered off course and slammed into the track barrier at roughly 192 kilometers per hour. That's about 119 miles per hour of pure, uncontrolled impact. But the speed wasn't even the worst part. Upon hitting the barrier, the car literally split in half. The force was so extreme that the vehicle just tore apart like paper. Think about that for a second. A Formula 1 car is built to be one of the strongest machines on Earth. These cars are designed to protect drivers in the most extreme conditions, but the impact was so brutal that it ripped the entire vehicle into 2 separate pieces. Then came the fire. Fuel spilled out from the wreckage and ignited instantly. Within seconds, the entire cockpit where Grosjean sat erupted into a massive fireball. Flames shot high into the air, reaching heights that seemed impossible. Thick black smoke billowed across the track, blocking the view of other drivers. The heat was so intense that cameras capturing the moment struggled to focus through the distortion. And somewhere inside that inferno was a human being. Everyone watching held their breath. Commentators went silent. Some couldn't even speak. Drivers on the track couldn't believe what they were seeing. Other teams watching from their garages froze in horror. This looked like the kind of crash nobody walks away from. This looked like a tragedy unfolding in real time. But then something incredible happened. Through the flames and smoke, a figure emerged. It was Grosjean, alive, walking, moving on his own. The collective relief was overwhelming. But the real story of what happened inside that fireball is even more remarkable. Here's what makes this even more unbelievable. Grosjean wasn't pulled out by rescue teams immediately. He was trapped inside that burning wreck for 28 full seconds. 28 seconds surrounded by fire hot enough to melt metal. 28 seconds where every breath could have been his last. 28 seconds that must have felt like an eternity. At first, his foot was stuck. Imagine being in that situation. Your car is in pieces around you. Flames are everywhere, surrounding you completely. You can feel the heat through your suit, getting hotter by the second. The smoke makes it hard to see, hard to breathe, and you can't move. Your foot is wedged in the wreckage. Panic would be the natural response. Most people would freeze, but Grosjean didn't panic. He kept fighting. He knew he had to get out. Every second mattered. He forced his helmet through the roof of the cockpit, using his head and shoulders to create an opening. He pulled and twisted his trapped foot, ignoring the pain, ignoring everything except the need to escape. Finally, his foot came free, leaving one of his racing boots behind in the wreckage. Then he climbed out, unassisted, and stumbled away from the flames. When medical crews reached him, they found burns on his hands and ankles, the areas where racing gear is thinnest and most vulnerable. These were the spots where the fire managed to reach his skin during those 28 seconds. But incredibly, no broken bones, no internal injuries, no life-threatening damage, just burns. After a crash like that, after being trapped in a fireball, just burns seemed like an absolute miracle. So how did he survive? Was it pure luck? Not exactly. Yes, luck played a role. The angle of impact, the way the car split, the fact that he remained conscious, all of that involved some fortune. But Grosjean's survival was also the result of decades of safety improvements in Formula 1. Improvements that were put to the ultimate test that day. And they passed. First, there's the survival cell. This is the cockpit structure built from super strong materials, primarily carbon fiber, designed to protect the driver no matter what happens. Even though the car split in half, that survival cell held together perfectly. It absorbed the massive impact forces and kept Grosjean's body safe from the worst of the collision. The cell didn't crack, it didn't crumble, it did exactly what it was designed to do. Then there's the halo. You've probably seen it, that titanium ring above the driver's head that looks like a roll bar. When it was introduced in 2018, some people didn't like it. They said it ruined the look of the cars. They argued it went against the open cockpit tradition of Formula 1. But on that day in Bahrain, the halo proved exactly why it exists. It shielded Grosjean's head and upper body from smashing directly into the barrier that the car pierced through at high speed. Without the halo, Grosjean's helmet would have hit that barrier, and he likely wouldn't have made it out alive. And let's not forget the fire-resistant gear. His racing suit, gloves, boots, and balaclava are all made from special materials that can withstand extreme heat for a limited time. These aren't ordinary fabrics. They're specifically designed and tested to protect drivers in fires. That gear bought Grosjean those critical 28 seconds he needed to escape. It kept the flames from reaching his skin long enough for him to free himself and climb out. Without that protection, the burns would have been far more severe, possibly even fatal. Finally, the medical response was instant and professional. Formula 1 has highly trained medical crews at every race, positioned strategically around the track, ready to respond in seconds. They were there as soon as Grosjean climbed out, providing immediate care that prevented his injuries from getting worse. They assessed him quickly, treated his burns, and got him to safety. Their training and preparedness made a huge difference in his recovery. All of these things combined, the car design, the survival cell, the halo, the fire-resistant gear, the medical team, together they saved his life. This wasn't just one thing working, it was an entire system of safety measures that had been developed, tested, and refined over decades. And when it mattered most, the system worked. That crash marked the end of Romain Grosjean's Formula 1 career. He missed the final 2 races of the 2020 season while recovering from his injuries. His hands needed time to heal. The psychological impact needed to be processed. And after that, he never returned to F1 as a full-time driver. His last race was that terrifying moment in Bahrain. But his story didn't end there. The wreckage of his Haas F20, that twisted, burned-out shell of a race car, has been displayed in exhibitions around the world. It stands as a powerful reminder of just how dangerous motorsport can be. When you see it in person, the damage is shocking. The way the car split, the burn marks, the melted components. It's difficult to believe anyone survived, but also, it stands as proof of how far safety technology has come. That wreckage is a symbol. It shows that even the most horrific crashes can be survived when the right safety measures are in place. In 2025, Grosjean did something deeply emotional. He returned to a Formula 1 cockpit during a test day with his former team. It was a moment that brought back everything: the crash, the fear, the flames, the survival. For Grosjean, climbing back into an F1 car wasn't just about driving. It was about showing himself in the world that the crash didn't define him. The footage of him back in the car, smiling despite the memories, showed his incredible courage. 28 seconds. That's all it took for Romain Grosjean to go from certain death to miraculous survival. His crash was a nightmare that will forever be remembered as one of the most frightening moments in Formula 1 history, but his escape was nothing short of extraordinary.